trombonist, leader of Rev21, Max McLeish. Welcome in Pohovka. It's Czech word for sofa. It's our music program. So welcome. Please have a seat. How are you doing?
Thanks so much. Yeah, really well, thank you. Yeah, great to be with you.
It's also an honor for us to have you here. We firstly met at Big Church Festival, running around due to technical issues. Lack of time, it was impossible to meet in person and record the interview on site. Finally, we met in person and arranged this Zoom call. So thank you for recording it now. I think it's going to be funky because not just because of the music, but also because before we start the meeting, we have as well, again, some technical issues. I split my coffee on the floor as well, and we couldn't hear each other. So that's strange, but finally here we are, and we can jump into it.
It's just our thing, I think, is technical issues.
Yeah, technical issues. It's something what fix us together. Mentioning BCF, Big Church Festival. Did you get any inspiration and get you inspired by anyone? Any groups, singers?
Yeah, I think it was amazing. Yeah, there were so many inspiring artists there. I have to say, some of the people at main stage were phenomenal. There was Volney Morgan and Yu Yi, who just blew me away. Their full gospel choir and Volney at the front, such a great frontman. But I was so impressed actually with how they brought together such incredible musicianship and with amazing arrangements and even the choreography and everything. But they had that, but also such a genuine heart of worship. I think bringing those two together, I was really impressed with that. I also love seeing New World Sun, actually, who I hadn't heard before, but had heard a bit about. In a way, have similarities to our influences. With obviously, there's a lot of sort of blues thing going on with them. They were great, and then loved in the evening as well. Wren Collective, always a treat, and yeah, the other two headliners, Carrie Job, phenomenal as well. So, in a different way.
So that was our background where we met, what you enjoyed the most. And could you please introduce yourself now? How did you find a way to music?
I grew up in quite a musical family. I'm one of four, so I have three siblings. I'm the third. And my parents both played music. We were playing music from quite an early age. I started the piano learning with my mum when I was 5, and then the cello picked up when I was 6. And then my dad played French horn and my brother played trumpet. And I wanted to play a brass instrument. So it was really only natural that I picked up the trombone. Seemed to have a bit of a penchant for lower bass instruments. So yeah, picked up the trombone when I was 8. And then, yeah, it's really started playing sort of classically trained growing up, playing in orchestras and stuff. Getting into jazz a bit when I was in my mid-teens, and that took me down that road.
So you and your brothers, since your family and childhood, you made brass section from the little time when you were small, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, No, I have memories of me, my brother and my dad having a little brass trio. We'd play together little tunes like Alexander's Ragtime Band, and actually me and my siblings would make a string quartet as well. So my two older siblings both played violin, I played the cello. My little sister thinks that she chose to play the viola out of her own free will, but there might have been a little bit of guided thought there from the rest of us.
So you're not just trombonist, you are also cellist.
Cellist as well.
Okay,
yeah, that's right.
And you can play the piano, right, as well?
Yeah, play piano as well, yeah. You know, when you need to get it out. I teach quite a lot as well, so in primary schools mainly, so I use piano a lot for that, and when I'm arranging and directing as well. So.
Why did you choose trombone? Is it so lousy, instrument? You need to be maybe alone or somewhere decked that you are not interrupting other people?
Yeah, I love the trombone. I think it was partly just a practical thing. It was the instrument that was left. I think I've always been drawn a little bit to the quirkiness of it and what you can do with the slide the natural bluesiness that you get from the slide, but then also how it can be really brash, but it can also really slot in with a much more gentle way as well and kind of add out in a more.
Tell us, please, more about Rev21. How did the group start? How did you guys put together?
For years, I'd wanted to put together a project that was bringing together both the music that I was really into, so the jazz and the funk and the sort of gospel and soul stuff, but then bring it together with that gospel heart for the lyrics. And it was a case of meeting the right people at the right time as well, really. I got to know Steve, the trumpeter, whilst studying at Royal Academy of Music in London. And he actually came to faith during that time. And we ran CU together. And then we went up to this big Christian Union conference in the northwest of England called Forum about 3 years ago. And we hung out with Christians from the other music colleges as well. And that's where I met a lot of the other guys who are now in the band. And we had lots of time just to chat during that week around the campsite. And yeah, turned out we had, quite similar influences and what we'd like to do with the music as well. So we actually had a little jam during that week. And then when we got home, we were like, let's do something. And that's what gradually became Rev21.
According to what I saw on social network, you meet for rehearsals at someone's living room. What do the neighbors say?
Yeah, we tried to keep it on the minimal sound level. We use our drummers' flats. A mixture of that, and sometimes we get an actual practice room. But it's quite nice being in that environment. Sometimes we've played out on his balcony and we get a few people listening in, the people down below. So yeah, it's quite fun.
Who is your favorite jazz or gospel soul performer? Would you like to play or sing together on stage?
Oh, wow. That is such a good question. You know what? A guy called Jeff Bradshaw, who is a trombonist. He's sort of into the sort of gospel R&B style. Yeah, I would to share a stage with Jeff. So good. That's more on the kind of trombone side. I think on the gospel side, it's probably at the moment got to be Ty Tribbett. I think just his presence that he brings, so good. And I've seen that he often has a little horn section with him. So.
And why do you like that? Because of the performance style or because of the musicians they are, or why they are so interesting for you?
Yeah, I think both with Ty, then he's such an engaging leader. It's like performer slash worship leader. Like he's so engaging, so full of energy and life and faith and like inspiration, I think, as well. The music is so fun and the arrangements fantastic as well. Yeah, just really, really interesting in the way they're put together. And say the same with Jeff, really. It's just really captures you. And his tone, like when you hear his tone, oh wow, like really grips you what you can get out of the horn. So yeah.
Mentioning your, musicians you get inspired, Rev21 is, or the singers in Rev21, because you are mainly instrumentalist, and there are two singers, and they are singing about Jesus, about faith, about God. Mm-hmm. Why is it so important to you guys?
Yeah, great question. And all of us have come to a faith in Jesus, and some of us like throughout most of our lives, and some of us in the past few years, but that has become for all of us what is at the very heart of everything we do, being completely forgiven by what Jesus has done for us on the cross, and that has brought us into a relationship with God who is alive and who is active and who fills us with his love and purpose for us each day. And it's really out of that place that gives us the inspiration to make music in the first place. So whether it's more on the worshipy side or just songs that are very influenced by how God has been shaping our lives, then it's always got sort of shadow of him in the backdrop to these songs, um, as we write about this or that. That's really what I guess we want to communicate, is that we're not writing just songs that are worship songs, but we're writing songs about how God has influenced and transformed every little moment and sphere of our lives.
Do you remember any of the moments from the last time, last maybe days, weeks, months? Yes, you can choose. When God shaped you somehow, that maybe transformed your mind, or you changed mind or something?
Yeah. Well, I've written a song called Porridge, which is going to be on the upcoming album. The reason I called it Porridge was I wrote it off the back of a time whilst I was still studying at university, and I got to the end of one term, was feeling very burnt out and just trying to do everything, and certainly just putting all my worth really in how much I was doing, and running the uni big band, doing all my degree, trying to run a CU as well, having a social, like all these things that you try to squeeze in us. And I was just trying to do all this in my own strength. And on a church weekend away in that holiday, I came down one morning for breakfast and there was this big vat of porridge. But I got down quite late and there was only like the tiny dregs left at the bottom. And it was all cold and hard. And then I was about to fill up my bowls, kind of scraping out these dregs, when this like new vat came in from the kitchen and it was warm and bubbly and overflowing. And I was just struck in that moment. I think God was speaking to me a little bit through that. I was trying to do life in my own strength, just like scraping out those little dregs from the porridge pot. And actually, he was saying, like, lean on me instead. Keep drawing on my strength to sustain you each day. That'll be like drawing from this overflowing vat of steaming porridge. And that really shaped me as I went into the next year. Yeah, no longer was I trying to just do everything on my own, but I was trying to lean on him. And Jesus says, isn't he, like, take my yoke on you, which is easy, and my burden is light. And when we do things in partnership with him, then there's a lightness about that, because we know that it's him who's sustaining us, and it's his grace and his spirit that empowers us for every good work that we've got to do. We're no longer striving to kind of earn his approval through all the things we do, or any human's approval for that matter. So that was one testimony from one of the songs.
That sounds great, Max. Thank you very much. That's gonna be funny. I'm really looking forward to listen to Porridge Song on your upcoming album. Could you tell us more about the preparing album? Like, when was the Rev21 founded? And what does it mean, Rev21?
Right. We formed in 2021. So that was the surface level of the name. So we've been going for about coming up to 3 years now. And we called it that. I mean, it's based from the scripture Revelation 21 and that picture of the new heavens and the new earth, which is a beautiful picture of actually what this new creation will look like. A city where God will come and dwell with his people, and we will be like with him once for all and properly, where there'll be no pain and suffering. And I guess I see a little bit our role as musicians and artists generally as having one eye on that new creation and trying to bring that into the present in some little way. We'll never be able to fully capture that now, but to bring just an ounce of what that new creation will be like and bring it into the now, so we can sort of taste and see the goodness of that.
So what about the new album then? Do you have also the new, name for it, or when it's going to release?
So our first album is going to be called Let Them Hear, which is the sort of title track from it. And it's we're really excited for it to come out.
Do you still work on, writing songs, or you turn to another part of this job, which is, the post-production?
Yeah, we recorded them all in November, actually. So they were all done. And then it's all being mastered at the moment. So yeah, mixes are basically done, being mastered, and then it's all that fun distribution stuff and getting the word out there, album artwork, etc.
In jazz and funky music, there's a typical that it has a gap for solo improvisation. Do you like that?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Why? Why?
I think my roots are in jazz music, as is the trumpet players and a few others from the band. And so I always wanted that improvisation to have a strong place in the band's sound. So you'll always find in our songs, recorded and especially live, we'll stretch out and have a few solos. It's great, and it means if we're struggling for material as well in a set, we could just stretch out a song and just keep on going around.
You are 8 in a group, am I right?
That's right. Yeah, we're 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe that every musician in Rev21 has their own projects. And tell me, what does help you and motivate you to stay together and perform together?
It's a struggle sometimes organizing 8 people and getting them together in the
I can
same place
imagine.
at the same time. But praise God, we've managed to do some things together so far. To be honest, I think one, it's a great bunch of people. We get on super well, and it's just always a real joy to hang. And sometimes when we practice, we need to make sure we're actually practicing and not just hanging out. And the music we all love and get a lot out of as well. I generally write quite hard stuff, so it challenges us and stretches us as well. But I think probably most of all is the fact that we are making this music explicitly in a way that glorifies God, or at least that's our intention, and to bring a little bit of knowledge of Him into whatever arena we might find ourselves in, which is often just little bars and clubs and pubs and stuff around London. And I think that really motivates us. So it's a privilege to be able to do.
Have you ever had the possibility to hear the feedbacks from people, from the audience? How do they like it? Or maybe, I don't know, if you talk about God during the concerts, how do they respond to it?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So, I mean, generally what our sort of formula as it were would be we often play a couple of sets, and then we let the lyrics kind of speak for themselves, and then usually at maybe one point in the first set and one point in the second set, just for like 30 seconds, give a really short, pithy statement about like, this song is about the cross or something, and then just say like, that's really important to us and here's why. And so, but just drop it in, keep it snappy, and then and always kind of try and relate it to the songs as well. Like, this is what's influencing the song. I think we've learned with that as well, and we've had some beautiful interactions with people who just popped in as well. We had a couple who came to our gig a couple of weeks ago who were on a third date, and the guy, he lived close by and I think wanted to take this woman to something cool. So it was like, oh, I know this jazz club, we could go to this jazz club. So had no idea who we were, brought them there, and we were chatting to them afterwards, and they really enjoyed it. He liked the porridge song, and it turns out the woman had been on an Alpha course only a few weeks before, so Alpha being a sort of Christianity explored sort of course, but she hadn't really done anything about it since then. And she was saying like, oh, I feel this is really a sign for me, like coming in here today and you being Christians, that I should go and check out that church again. So just like little things like that, so encouraging, which is a joy.
Max McLeish, thank you very much that you were guest in our music program Pohovka so far, and thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of preparing of the album. We are looking forward to listen to it, and all the greetings to your guys, to the rest of the group, Rev21, and God bless you in your work, and also when you get in touch with people from the audience and listen and tell them about your experience with God and what God made for you. And thank you that you are sharing it through wonderful music, which funky and jazz really is.
Agreed. Thank you so much. No, thank you.